5 things you missed in Man City 1 Arsenal 0. That is right lads, that is now 29 games Arsenal have failed to beat a Big Six side away from home. But yeah, of course, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal did lose 1-0 in Manchester at the Etihad Stadium. And while Arsenal were in the game for many parts of it, and questions need to be asked, why can't Arsenal beat these Big Six sides away from home? So with that being said guys, welcome back to Boys Channel. Hopefully you guys are doing very well, and let's get into this 5 things you missed in Man City 1 Arsenal 0. Here we go. Yo, what is going on guys, my name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. Of course lads, before we get into the video, so make sure to go down there, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are closing in to 30,000. Also get in the comments and let me know your thoughts on the game, what you think happened, and what are your intakes. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to follow all my social media, links are in the description below, massively appreciate it. But with that being said guys, 5 things, or 10 things, no 5 things you missed in Man City 1 Arsenal 0. It was an L, so let's discuss. The first thing that I want to discuss is the lack of forward risk taking. Now Mikel Arteta, I know you're my manager, I trust the process more than any fan in this world. You could call me the captain of Trust the Process FC, but I can't lie to you guys, now going forwards I am starting to get just a little bit worried, because in this game, like the story has been for Arsenal season, we're solid defensively, you can defend very well, but going forwards there is no creativity. And for me the real negative is the lack of proper risk taking. In terms of stats of the game, Arsenal only created 1 big chance in the entirety of the game, which of course Mikel Saka missed. And in terms of the entirety of the season as well, Arsenal have only created 7 big chances. We're an Arsenal Football Club, we've got Aubameyang and Pepe, Willian and Co. 7 chances is simply not good enough. And for me the reason why is because no one wants to take a risk. Every Arsenal player wants to keep it safe, they want to keep the ball, they want to pass it sideways and not lose that ball. And listen, I am all here for the possession stats, but what's the point of having a 95% passing accuracy if we're not getting the ball forwards? There's many times that Arsenal get the ball in danger areas, but we just don't have the player to provide that final ball. We do not have any sort of creativity in this team whatsoever. And the best example is exactly today what a team with creativity can do to you. If you compare Man City to Arsenal today, we were in that game for many parts of it, but what exactly was the difference? Of course for me, that was Bernardo Silva, because even though these guys didn't have Kevin De Bruyne, they were still ripping Arsenal, and they had a creative player in Silva who dominated the game and controlled the game as well. And it's for me Arsenal's lack of a player like Bernardo Silva is where Arsenal are going to struggle to make chances, and have struggled so far this season as well. And when you don't have creativity, you also can forget about your front three, and the stats do the talking as well. Our main guy, our go-to striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, only had 26 touches all game. That was the least out of any outfield player on the Arsenal team. And so in terms of strikers, forget chances, we can't even get the ball to Aubameyang, and when they get the ball to him it's always on the wing and areas that are not dangerous enough. Now I'm not saying let's just let Aubameyang's performance slip to one side, it was an awful performance. But then again, when you don't have creativity, sometimes you need players just to take some risks, and that's why I am gonna criticize man like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Listen, Oba, I love you to death, but sometimes he gets the ball and I want to see more free. I want to see you take a full back on, I want to see you use your pace, be direct and get some shots off, because if you want to be our go-to guy, our leader or a captain, this is where you gotta turn up. The last time Arsenal for me had risk takers in a team, the main guy was Alexis Sanchez, baby, and as much as he was a snake, he was a very risk-taking player. He would get the ball and maybe he'd lose it, but overall he tried to get things done and he tried to make things happen. And then when you now look at the current Arsenal side, who is our risk taker? Everyone just wants to play it safe. There are too many games where Arsenal just play with a safety light on, and it's boring, it's sad, and it's depressing to watch as well, and we are not competing when it comes to going forwards and making chances. And I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to have to ask the question, should Arsenal now bring back Mesut Ozil? Because say what you want about the German player, but last season stats on paper are he created 2.4 chances per game, and to put that into comparison, the next highest Arsenal player was Nicolas Pepe at 1.7. And so lads, get in the comments and let me know your thoughts on Mesut Ozil, and do you think it's time we bring him back into at least the Arsenal squad? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Moving on to the second thing I want to discuss, and that is that we are left-hand predominant. Left-handed FC in full effect, and trust me, it is starting to become very predictable. Of course, in terms of the Arsenal left-hand side, we have Bukayo Saka, Kieran Tierney and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and as much as I love all those players, and as we have seen, they can work very well together. Right now Arsenal are too predominant predominant on that side, and there's a lack of balance in the team. And again, let their stats do the talking. In the game itself, Arsenal had 45% of their attacks going through the left hand side. That's nearly half of our attacks there and there. And this has become a pattern of our play throughout the entirety so far this season under Arteta. We love to play on the left hand side, and that's the only way we know how to attack. And that's why for me, players like Nicolas Pepe struggle. Now, I'm not trying to make any excuses for Perez's Blood FC because the CEO wasn't existent today, but at the same time, it is clear to see right now Arsenal are too predominant and too focused on playing for the left hand side, hence why Pepe just gets left out so many times. And right now, a massive issue for Arsenal is we lack balance going forwards. Right now it's left and left only, and we need to start using our right hand side, because for me on the right hand side we still have some quality players. And so now the question really is, who is going to do that? And that's where it comes in our Partey. Of course, in terms of Thomas Partey, he did not start today, and you know what, as much as all Arsenal fans would have loved the Partey, we have to understand the guy is just in Arsenal. He's had 1.5 days of training, and with Arteta and his discipline tactics, it was always going to be difficult to see him start, especially at Man City away. But of course, going into the future, we have Partey. He's here, he's fit, he's ready, and I think he's going to go a whole lot way of helping progress the right hand side, because right now we have 3 left-footed players, Saka, Tierney and Saka, and let's just say that Thomas Partey is going to be very useful, and I cannot wait for the party to get started. But yeah guys, get in the comments and let me know your thoughts on what do you think is the solution to Arsenal's right hand side issues: Pepe, Bellerin, Ceballos, or even Thomas Partey. Moving on to the third thing, and that is the defensive structure is found. I understand Arsenal fans, we lost the game and I hate it, but at the same time we have to look for some positive vibes, and I have found them, and that for me was our solid defense today. I understand that we lost and we didn't keep a clean sheet, but again, let their stats do the talking for you. In terms of expected goals, it was Man City 1.4 and Arsenal 0.8. Again, of course, Man City coming on top, but Arsenal were very close. And if you are to compare that to the last time we played Man City at the Etihad Stadium, it was Man City 2.7 and Arsenal was 0.5. As you can clearly see right now, the gap is getting closer and closer, and we are starting to compete. And that for me, of course, is our solid defense. Yes, we have our errors here and there, and sometimes players can do a bit better, but on the whole, I am happy to say the defense is no longer an issue for Arsenal, and instead is creativity. It's gone full circle, baby. Just cast your minds back to a few years ago. We had Ozil, Sanchez, Ramsey, Wilshere, these creative ballers, but had defenders that could not defend to save their lives. And now for once we finally have a solid defense, we don't have any creativity now. Just give us a break, Arsenal. I'm begging now, man. But of course, the defense itself was a massive positive, and of course, the main guy has to be my defender, my centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes. May I just say right now, what a centre-back we have here. He is so good, and he also has the stats to back him up as well. 2 deals won, 2 blocks as well, and also 0 times dribble pass. And overall again, we saw his fantastic ball playing ability, where in total 63 accurate passes, and also so many balls that broke the lines and got Arsenal going forwards. And so overall, as much as the attack was misfiring once again, at least for once we can finally say that we have a solid defensive unit. I never thought I'd see the day. Moving on to the fourth thing, lads, and that is Bukayo Saka has found his role. My number 7, my golden boy, my star boy, in full effect. What a performance from Bukayo Saka, as despite being only 19 years of age, the man balled at the highest level and caused Man City so many issues, and I will go as far as saying he was by far our best player on the pitch. And every time he got the ball, he was running at Man City, he was causing issues, and he caused so many City players to come towards him, and there was times where he was 3v1 and he was still somehow coming on top. What a player we have. And again, let their stats do the talking as well. In total, he had 1 key pass, and of course also our best chance of the game, which he didn't miss, but of course it was a great from Edison. But as well as that, 4 dribbles and 2 tackles, a very good performance from me, the Arsenal man of the match. And looking at Saka now playing, and of course in terms of the position that Saka played in, it was that left-sided advanced midfielder in that half space. When he got forward, City could not cope with his pace, his power, his dribbling, and he kind of drew comparisons to Bernardo Silva as well. And all Saka needs to do now is work on his end product, because overall we have a very exciting player. My youngster, my baller, what a player we have. And moving on to the final thing, lads, and that is the gap is closing. I understand there's a lot of Arsenal fans that are pessimistic, that are negative right now, and they're not in the best moods because Arsenal ultimately did not get the win. And I can see why some fans are critiquing the in-game decisions of Mikel Arteta, but at the same time, I think you can clearly see the gap itself is closing. And I'm going to hit you guys with another stats, and that is that Mikel Arteta has now played 19.4% of his games as Arsenal manager against Liverpool and Man City. And overall, out of these 7 games, he has won 4 of them, including on penalties, losing 3, and overall a 57% win rate. And we ain't talking no average sides here, we're talking the 2 last champions and 2 world-class teams at the top of their game. I understand that right now our attack is timid, but overall for me, I'm not going to judge our attack fully until we have that creative player. Is it Aouar? Is it Thomas Partey? Is it Mesut Ozil? I don't know, but we still need a creative player. But in terms of the overall shape of the team and how we compete in these games, it's clear to see Arteta has massively progressed Arsenal. And one thing I don't want to see, guys, is fans claiming and begging, oh, we should have gone for it. How many years in the past have we gone for it? We've lost 3 or 4 or 5 and been embarrassed. I don't want that, and we are gone those days. And with Arsenal being in this game for so long, if we had that creative player, that magic player, the guy to get Arsenal forwards and make that chance, then we could get easily something out of this game. And also, if maybe VAR had seen the penalty and we had got that, it might have also been a different game. But overall, it is what it is, and we take the L on the chin. But at least I see that Arsenal are competing, and that for me is the key. We're in these games, and now it is making that second step, the next step, and that for me is taking risks in games and overall making our attack like it used to be, this attacking team that makes chances and overall gets goals. And that's why I cannot wait for the January transfer window, the return of Transfers FC, and I cannot wait for that because we clearly need a creative midfielder. So lads, get in the comments and let me know, who would you sign as that creative midfielder? But with that being said, guys, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, so much sure to go down there, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new. As always, get in the comments and let me know your thoughts on the game and anything you want to discuss. And also, if you guys could follow all my social media and subscribe to my group channel, The Offsiders, it would be massively appreciated. But with that being said, guys, in the latest episode of 5 Things You Missed, we discussed Arsenal's 1-0 defeat to Man City. Ultimately not the result we wanted, but at least I take some positives. Now it was over to Arsenal, Arteta, whoever, to sort out that creativity. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you next time in a bit.